Morales. They might just call me childish if I got to catch them all or volunteer to take the challenge. Brick and mortar, I got the plug and the orders. I got the connect account mechanic and get me the sort of joy I get from toys, action, BB, B8, action. So brick and mortar, I got the plug and the orders. I got the connect account mechanic and get me the sort of joy I get from toys, action. Bang, 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 bang. Action figures. Welcome to the territory.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Toys, Noise, and Action Figures. I'm your host, Reg Henny, and I'm standing.
Noise.
He is the noise, but he's also the man himself. This is Brian Flynn.
Don't judge him.
If you don't know who Brian Flynn is, I'll let him introduce himself. He doesn't need any introduction, but I'll let him introduce himself.
My name is Brian Flynn from Super7, and I just introduced myself.
And he did a good job. Actually, this is Brian Flynn's show, not mine. But we are standing in front of one of the biggest shows here at the convention. Brian, please tell the people what is right behind us.
This is the Cat's Lair from Thundercats. This is the most ridiculous playset ever made because that's how we roll. We're going to make it bigger, badder, better than ever before.
That's an understatement. This is the greatest playset ever made. Not just that, a lot of fans are raving about the fact that it's worth every penny. This isn't one of those where you're on the fence and you're like, I don't know, is it worth it? And we saw that a lot of times with past projects from other companies. There's no argument on this one. How were you guys able to make all that happen? Because I know there's a lot of politics.
I don't try to mess with the politics. I don't try to do any of that. Like, toys like this, everything of it, it's supposed to bring us joy. And let's just make the best version we can, and either it's right for you or it's not. And if it's not, it's okay. It's okay to not have everything. It's okay to not be down with everything. You can just pick your spots and have fun.
But everybody needs this. We know this for a fact, and you're being very humble. But Super7 is one of those, in my opinion, humble opinion, there are other companies that do a great job. You guys have managed to have this niche kind of market where you're like, if this is hip hop, you're like the Nas of the toy companies because you still get a chance to keep it grassroots, keep it on the level, and go and do things that other companies would pump the brakes on and hesitate. Is that kind of a rebel spirit? Where does that come from?
I'd love to give some soliloquy about how it's all this grandmaster plan, but in the end, I'm making the things that I want to have, and if I make the things I want to have, I think that other people do too. And I think that the passion we put into our product comes out. That's why people respect it, but that's also why we're being given opportunities at a level that maybe normally wouldn't be given to companies of our size. Right. And I think that's maybe what you're alluding to.
Oh, it's absolutely what I'm alluding to because, again, sometimes with us fans, we go, I would love to see this or I'd love to see that. The fact that you guys have reaction figures for Run the Jewels, the fact that you have reaction figures for Misfits, the fact that you actually gave me Eric B. and Rakim.
Yeah.
Eric B. and Rakim. Y'all don't understand. It's near and dear to my heart. My favorite rapper of all time is Rakim. And the first time I get a chance, the God MC. We're twins. We're here.
You're the better looking twin. Better accessorized as well. My glasses don't have the bling.
Well, yeah, it's part of the marketing. But the fact that you guys actually do these type of figures, even your G.I. Joe line, with the fact that it looks exactly like the Sunbow animation.
Yes.
It's a bold step that most fans would be like, you have the pulse on the heartbeat of what the fans are asking for, and that's awesome.
I'd love to say it's us putting our finger on the pulse, but it's more just like, what do I want in my collection? Like, I have vintage G.I. Joes. I have those 3 3/4 figures. I don't need that figure again, right? But what do I not have? Well, I don't have anything. I want it to look like it walked off the screen. That's going to be super exciting to me. That's something I don't have yet. That's interesting. That's unique. So I try to make those things that I want to have. And if I make that thing I want, there's probably another guy who's at the same space in his collecting life as I am. And it's like, no, it doesn't always work. Let's be real, But a lot of times it's that same thing where it's like, oh, That I don't have.
Right. Speaking of don't have, for those of you that have been tuning in to Toys, Noise, and Action for some time, you saw me review the Snake Mountain. You also saw me review a lifelong search for Franklin. Franklin from the Peanuts gang. I was able to get the 16-inch tall vinyl figure. Also got the Charlie Brown one. I did not show that on the channel yet.
Did you get the
It's
reaction
coming up.
figure?
The reaction I did not, but I will be getting that one.
I'll send you one.
Well, then Brian is sending me a Franklin reaction figure.
I'll send you a Franklin reaction.
Okay, so here's my story behind Franklin and my search. I would go up to Nasseray Farm as often as possible and maybe find a Franklin mug. And for those of us that grew up loving characters like Franklin or the Fat Albert or any character that looked like us, Franklin was the one I wanted to find. And Brian, you supplied it to us along with other great 16-inch tall figures, Reptar, the Disney characters, the Queen of Hearts. That creativity is appreciated, and I just want to give you your flowers right now, sir.
You know, I don't think that I understand why and how that it is important for a lot of people. For us, that was the third Peanuts figure we made. We made Snoopy first, Charlie Brown second, and Franklin third. Because I'm the same way. You're like, where's Franklin? So let's make Franklin. But there's no way to say stuff like this without it sounding weird, but we just made Franklin. We didn't be like, look, we made Franklin. It's just Franklin's out, and after Franklin's out, we're going to make Linus.
There was
and
no,
it is.
There was no pandering. It was just grassroots.
Yeah, but even me saying that then implies a pandering or knowledge of pandering or some preconceived notion. It's just like, look, we just make stuff that we like, and hopefully other people like it too. And I do realize, and more, like the reason that there's another Franklin over there in the jacket now is because after the fact, so many people that are not involved in the toy industry, that are friends of friends, or reached out to me and said, hey, I never even knew you made a Franklin, and you don't know how much I want one of those. Do you have any left? And I don't. So how do I make Franklin available for everybody, but also be true to the people that already bought the Franklin? So that's why we made the new Franklin with the jacket instead of the shirt.
Yeah.
But I will also sit here and say that this is supposed to be fun, enjoy, and let's not take it seriously. But at the same time, I also understand that what we do sometimes does have an outsized importance to other people.
Right.
I try to be cognizant of it, but I try not to make it the driving point behind what we do. I'm just making great stuff from everywhere.
There you go. And real quick, he's mentioned great stuff for everyone. Keep in mind, we have until, how many weeks are we doing the backing for the Cat's Lair?
2 months.
We got 2 months.
So you just have 58 days.
You got 58 days to back that Cat's Lair. I'm personally going to be backing it. And you guys already know that's going to happen. So you need to do the same. Thunder Tank, if you missed out on that, I don't know what to tell you. The Thundercats.
Thundercats, Wave 9. Wave 9. Yes, Wave 9's up.
So go get Wave 9, pre-order that, and go ahead and get you one of these Toys, Noise, and Action figures. Thank you for joining us. As always, be good to yourself, be good to others, show empathy, open your toys, play with them.
And, yes, play with them. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
All right.